Grazie. We will before.
Welcome to Florida.
Okay. This feels right at home.
It's dark and it was dark, Good morning, how are you?
Good, and you?
All right.
I'm wonderful. I love it.
See, if you gonna walk in with me instead of them, then I got money for breakfast. I got money for breakfast. Hey, look, stop. You ain't eat. Hi, bro. Come inside here.
No, that's for the other group. Another group behind them. Yeah. Oh, okay, okay.
Together, family and friends, so you can be on the same bus.
Alright, guys, gotta get a wristband. Well, good morning.
How you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Huh?
Her name's Kyle.
Oh.
Jackie, what is this? Man, and I walk out of this.
We're Detroit. Oh, yeah. We understand, yeah. Look, there's another boat out there in the water.
I know, right? I hate when they do that at clubs. It's like all in your arm. Okay.
Capital, Road Town. We'll be sharing a little information with you in the capital. And then we head for the hillsides on a very scenic road, which is called the Ridge Road. We'll be actually driving along the mountain tops, those big mountains you see on the right-hand side. And making our way up to one of our island's highest point, which is called Sky Road. Sky Road is a balcony that gives you a 360-degree view of most of our islands. At that point, we also have a complimentary beverage. I'll be presenting a coupon to you, which gives you a beverage. I think the choices normally would be fruit punch or bottled water. And then we head out to the beach. That will be the time for the kids. And I must remind you folks, for the adults, this tour is not only for the adults, but it's also for the kids. So we have to do things in a timely manner because the quicker we get to the beach is the more time that the kids would have on the beach. Once we get to the beach, I'll be giving you the necessary information as well as directions to make it a lot easier. And also I'll be presenting you with another coupon for another complimentary drink. At that point, it would be fruit punch or rum punch. After we leave the beach, we continue along the rest of the north side, the residential side of the island, which is very beautiful. Making our way back to the south side where we have a coastline drive right beside the ocean most of the way back to town. Sounds good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Alright, sounds good. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy it with me, okay? Now on the right hand side, that is our government's administration complex where you will find about 80% of our government offices as well as our government ministers. Here on the left hand side, the cream building with the orange trim, the Joshua J. Smith building. This is actually our Social Security building. Now, as long as you're working, you must pay into the Social Security. Yeah, and you get compensated like if you're disabled, retired, or even injured. But please know that we do not have welfare on the island. Once again, there's no welfare. And what we have in front of us used to be one of the only 3 traffic lights that we have in all of the BVI. Presently, we only have 1 that is operational. So in a territory that only has a 1 stoplight. So we're making a right turn, but if you look to the left, you will see some colorful buildings. That is our main souvenir shopping area. That is Crafts Alike Village. And behind of us is a more tourist-oriented part of town. In front of us is a more local sign. This side is where you'll find like the grocery shops and the clothing stores. But this is the capital, which is called Roadtown. As a matter of fact, as the minute you came off the ship, that's also the capital. So that's R-O-A-D, Roadtown, where our main industry on our island, where we get our money from. Firstly, we're into financial services, where we incorporate or register offshore companies. Similar to what you would find in Bermuda, Turks and Caicos, and also the Cayman Islands. But the difference is we do not really handle the money here, but we make our money off of the fees that we charge. So that's what most of these buildings would be, both on the left and also the right. We call them trust companies. And then tourism would be our second main industry. So financial services and tourism, that's where we get our money. As we come to the end of one of the more utilized roads, this is Waterfront Drive. On the right is one of the few indications that we're British, that's a roundabout. And we have quite a few of those. Now as we make this turn, we're now headed east. We're eastbound on the James Walter Francis Highway, which would be the only 4-lane road in all of the BVI. This is the only road that has 4 lanes. All of the other roads are just 2 lanes. But to what you're accustomed to, it might look like 1 lane because the roads are pretty narrow. Now most of the development in the BVI has only been within the last 15 to 20 years, as the island is somewhat deliberately slow to development. Also on the left, the red and white building, that is the headquarters of a Red Cross, where we have an annual prostate cancer screening, which is done voluntarily by the Red Cross and is always properly attended. I'm proud to say I did my first screening the last time they had one, that was a few months ago. I also must say it was the worst 10 seconds of my life though. Hopefully by the time I test again, I have a different way of testing for that. That was pretty dramatic. Yeah, somebody should have warned me. That's actually one of our ailments before all of the awareness we have now that has claimed a lot of lives. So we had a lot of breast cancer. comes in, which is also once a cruise ship here. We started having big ships fluently from the year of 1980. Alright folks, hold on to your hats. We're headed for the hills. And we'll be going up for a while. So on the right, you have a glimpse of this ship up here, which is not really a good spot to take photos, so there's some pretty trees. So we do have a beautiful panoramic photos up here, but also the town here once you get to the top of the hills. To get those of you on the end of the bus, please be mindful. As we're going up the hill, the engine makes a lot of noise, so we stop with the information until we get to the top of the hills. In the meantime, you can discuss among yourselves what a terrible job I'm doing so far.
Look at that view back there.
I'm gonna take that as
Where?
right here. There's like 10 cars.
Oh, dang, you're right. No, they probably put them down there. Hey!
This is one of the two access roads that can take you to
Gotta get a picture.
This one is called the Ridge Road. The others on the flat where we just came from, which is a combination.
Beautiful!
But this is the more scenic one. Now you can actually travel the circumference of Tortola continuously driving in under 1 hour. Now folks, in a few minutes we'll be making our first stop so we can take some photos while I give you a brief description on some of the islands that you can see. And it would also be a good chance for you to ask any questions you have.
Dang, look at that house right there. They ain't even done good in that house. Gorgeous.
I mentioned it before, but now we can see.
Look at that water,
yeah. Beautiful day today. Visibility is not the clearest, but it's still very clear. And I'm just taking you to the safest and the best spot for us to take our photos.
They got a lease on their house. The majority of their roofs flat. Cause a lot of water.
Guys, at this particular stop we're about to make, we'll actually be on the other side of the road, which is quite customary. The locals are accustomed to the taxis being on the other side just to get you good photos. So please don't panic, okay? And as we're about to make this stop, this will not be one of the stops where we're allowed to exit the vehicle for safety reasons. So I'll be coming around on the other side to tell you about the islands. And this will be a scheduled 5-minute stop. Once again, we're here for 5 minutes.
Alright guys, it's me again.
Thank you.
So guys, as we're overlooking the north side of the island, the body of water on this side would be the North Atlantic Ocean. But on the south side, where the fantasy is the Caribbean Sea. So we actually watch by 2 seas. Alright? From this point we can see 3, maybe 4 of the islands. Let's start with the big one in the back furthest away from us. That is our second biggest island by the name of Virgin Gorda. That's Virgin Gorda, our second biggest island with about 3,000 residents. And it's also home to the #1 beach in the world, as it was voted by Time and Leisure magazine and other publications. It's called the Bass. Now the reason it was voted #1 is because it's very unique. The Bass is actually a combination of really gigantic boulders. I mean, they're so huge that they form caves. In between these boulders, we have white powdery sand pools that you can actually swim in. You start hiking on one side, a beautiful beach, hike through the boulders, there's ropes, ladders, signs, and all of that stuff. Come out on the even more beautiful beach on the other side, which is called Devil's Bay. Now you have to bear with me guys because I love showing photos. It gives you a visual and a better understanding of what I'm trying to tell you. So allow me to show you the inside of the Bass. That's what the inside looks like. Okay, notice how big the boulders are and the white sand pools, the inside of the Bass. Okay? But as you can see, it's a very small formation. So you actually have to choose your days in which you go to the Bass. If there's 2 big ships, then it's not a good day to go to the Bass. There's too many people there at the same time. Okay? So Virgin Gorda, our second biggest island. These 2 here, in the back of the 2, that one is called Great Comano Island. Now we call that one our retiree island because only retirees live there. Mostly from all over Europe, from the US, from Canada, and I think there's a South African couple. Okay? Well, tell me what you notice about the island, guys. Tell me what you see. Nothing.
Yeah.
Now, for some strange reason, all of the homes.
For many purposes, we used to grind and introduce meals with the aid of a horse or donkey. And this is a depiction of a 400-year-old rum distillery that is still in operation at King Garden Bay. It's only about a 10-minute walk away from where we stop at the beach in case you want to check it out. And then we used to take sand from our beaches to build our houses, but we had to stop because too much sand was coming off of the beaches. Now this is actually one of the 3 segments painted by my brother, by the way. My brother was one of our artists, they call him Ghost. And right behind of loading the sand, that bamboo-like tree, that's a sugar cane, that's a smaller version of a sugar cane. Now catching land crabs at night is a thing of the past, we don't really do that anymore. No, don't believe what you see there, guys. I've never seen crabs that big, okay? So the crabs are not that big. Now what we do have is a wonderful water sufficient. Close to the shore we have like a snapper and a grouper. Offshore we have like a tuna and a mahi-mahi. And boiled fish is actually a main dish in the island. Boiled fish. So we eat a lot of seafood here. Also, as you can see in our history, our schools are very small. Most of these schools did not have tables and chairs, and we all used to go to school without shoes, but we still had to get our education. And that's another one painted by my brother. Even my bus that you're driving on, if you notice, my bus has a paint job. He did that also, as he does all forms of art. But believe it or not, I still have to pay him full price though. Yeah, true story. Third and final one painted by my brother, cutting the sugar cane. And here we have a coal pit, which is like a fraction of a coal mine. And in the early days before we had propane or cooking gas, most of our cooking was done with coal. This gentleman's name is Mr. Daniel Farrington. He was also a long-time resident of this village and a very charitable man, very giving of himself. Again, an appreciation to him to give him a portrait of himself. But right behind of his painting, that little concrete thing, that was his outhouse, his restroom to his childhood home. And to the right of that is his childhood home, which is now taken over by chickens. And last but not least, we have the evening sun with the pelicans, and we should see some pelicans once we get to the shorelines as we say goodbye to the wall. So the wall says a lot about our history, folks, and I hope you liked it.
Yeah.
Thank you. But the reason I appreciate the wall so much, folks, is the fact that we have a lot of older people that are just dying out with this culture and this knowledge and not passing it on. And on the flip side, we have a lot of younger people, I guess all caught up in technology and stuff, not taking up that culture. So unfortunately, our culture is dying out.
Same as America.
This is actually a historic election, folks. We have the most young people running for elections this time around. This guy on the right-hand side actually was in class with me in high school. Now this team, the NDP, which stands for National Democratic Party, they're the ruling party right now. If you see a green and white poster, that's what we call the opposition. VIP, which stands for Virgin Islands Party. Town here now, the capital, Road Town. Where the blue circle is, that's track and field, rugby, soccer, and also cricket, which has recently been resurfaced. Anything from that going back to your ship was actually water at one time, as 3/4 of the town area is actually reclaimed land. Land reclamation started in the early 1950s and has continued up to this day. So because of that, about 3/4 of the buildings in town had to be put on about 50 feet of piles to give it a sturdy foundation. We do have some rules and regulations where we're not allowed to have buildings that are taller than 6 floors for our commercial buildings and 4 floors for our residential buildings, so we would never have skyscrapers. Besides that, we're also not allowed to have casinos because gambling is actually illegal on the island. I mean, we do have gambling, it's just not legal. Let me just clarify that. We have gambling, but it's not legal. And also, I don't know how you feel about the next one. We're also not allowed to have certain franchise, and especially fast food. So no fast food, no Burger King, no McDonald's, no KFC, no fast food.
Oh, no Starbucks.
Interesting, isn't it? Now guys, these islands are actually rich in history, especially as it pertains to pirate history. A lot of the stories you heard or read about were in these very same waters. For example, a very small island by itself that's shaped like a coffin, that is the original death chest or dead man's chest. So that's where the folk song that says 16 men in a dead man's chest, ho ho ho, and a bottle of rum, that's where it came from. That's what the famous pirate Blackbeard gave 15 of his guys 1 bottle of rum each to bury some treasure on that island. And there's a story behind of that. So the guys did leave the ship to bury the treasure. They dug the hole, but fell asleep after drinking the rum. So when Blackbeard realized that they were sleeping, he disappeared because the treasure never left the ship and he didn't want to share it with them. So when the guys awoke, they realized that Blackbeard had left and there was nothing on dead chest, but the other island in the same direction we're heading, which is called Peter Island. They could have seen fruits and animals and stuff like that on Peter Island. So they tried to swim to Peter Island. They all got caught up in a very bad current, all drowned, washed up on the backside of Peter Island on one of the most beautiful beaches, ironically called Dead Man's Bay. True story. So that's what the movie Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Man's Chest should have been filmed. But instead that one was filmed in St. Vincent. The other one, Peter Island, that's a resort island. It's called the Peter Island Resort. And the major shareholders will be a pyramid group out of Michigan called Amway. And that's where the actor Morgan Freeman would stay most of the time when he came here because he loves these islands. As a matter of fact, he loves them so much he made himself a resident by purchasing his own home over at Virgin Gorda. So Morgan Freeman has a house at Virgin Gorda. So you guys now know 3 famous people on the island: Richard Branson, Morgan Freeman, and of course myself. I will not leave myself out. On Peter Island, the most expensive room would be called the Falcon's Nest. It would cost you $20,000 for 1 night. The channel itself is called the Sir Francis Drake Channel. It was named after an English privateer after he was knighted in the year of 1585. It's also the host area to one of our annual sailing events. It's called the BBI Spring Regatta. In terms of the election processes going around, this is the extent of which you would get on the right hand side. If they're not happy with you, they just cut out your eyes. Now, unlike the chickens, that's one of the small things we do here, because in terms of family homes with apartments, sometimes it's more than one apartment. As the rent you collect from those apartments either contributes to your mortgage, or in some cases pays your home mortgage for you. So keep in mind that family size home will be concrete structure, which is pretty strong. As you can tell, folks, the island is very mountainous. We're about 80% mountain, so not much flat land at all. And we have a whole lot of winding roads like this one. Now, if you think these roads are scary, let me just draw a scenario to you. Now, just imagine how I feel when I go to the States, driving on the right-hand side of the road, on a highway, going about 80 miles per hour, trying to cross 5 lanes to get to an exit. That's pretty scary to me. So this is how what you're accustomed to. Down here, all you have to do is do that, and you should be okay. Also, you can probably tell by now that we use our horns a lot around in the Caribbean, around here in the Caribbean, sorry. For a number of different reasons. Most of the time when you're going around blind corners to alert someone that you're coming around, or sometimes someone lets you out in traffic and you want to say thank you, or you see a friend in traffic and you want to say hello. Or sometimes it's just to flip you off. Now down the road on the left hand side, if you can see a green roof building, that is the only Montessori school on the island. Right, folks, we're up here at our picture attraction called Sky Road, where the main attraction is once you get to the top of the balcony. In front of us, there's a 360-degree view of most of our islands. Now, folks, this stuff tends to be a bit time-consuming, so we try to, again, do things in a timely manner. Anyone that needs a restroom, once you go through the main door, it will be through the dining room on the left-hand side. Now that restroom always has a tendency of being pretty full. So if you can hold it, or let's start with the beach. After we leave from here, will be a 10-minute ride to the beach if you can hold it. Oh, no, I wouldn't run over it. Don't worry about it. I got it.
Thank you.
And as you make your way down, I'll be presenting you with your coupon for your complimentary drink. That will be straight at the bar. So if you want your views, folks, you go straight to the balcony. If you want the restroom, straight to the restroom. Or if you want to drink, you can go straight to the bar. Now, this is a scheduled 10-minute stop, folks. So we're here for 10 minutes as I'm anxious to get the kids to the beach, okay? So 10 minutes at this spot.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
There you go, sir. Thank you. All right. It's the two of you. There you go.
Thank you.
No problem, man. 3.
Addresses.
You gotta go to the bathroom?
Yeah. Okay. It's a dog. Oh, okay. Thank you. I want to.
How y'all doing? ain't never seen a cow before? Yeah, the cow started walking.
We want to do.
That's the green building.
Huh?
That green building has showers and stuff. That's
Oh, up there?
yeah. Oh well. We'll use it on the way out.
Shit!
This is all the way in.
This is where I want to go.
I fell.
There you go.
I'm not one of this, but want to take a picture on the water?
I want to see some drop the stick. Keep the thing in your hand.